Motherhood is not easy. No one wrote a book on it. You're going to make trial and error. You're going to make mistakes. Just accept it, move on from it, and know that you'll never make it again. Give yourself grace. Know that you're doing the best that you can, but don't beat yourself up.
Welcome back to the Running Wine Mom podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Selinsky, aka the Running Wine Mom. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Robynn Mays, a licensed clinical social worker, marriage and family therapist, and clinical educator who has dedicated her career to supporting maternal mental health. She brings not only expertise, but a deep heart for moms navigating the invisible weight we often carry. We're talking about the realities behind postpartum anxiety and depression, the myths of bouncing back, and what true self-care looks like when you're in the thick of it. Whether you're a new mom, a seasoned parent, or just someone who loves a mom, this conversation is for you. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Mays. Welcome.
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Great. And I'm so excited to have you. And we met briefly at the Create Her event at the Prego Expo. So I'm so excited. That's like one of the best things of connecting with women at that. It has just brought me so many beautiful people, and I am glad you were one of them.
Yes. Thank you for, taking the time and us connecting and then staying connected. That's always the hard part about going to these conferences and things like that. You lose contact with people. And sometimes people say they're going to follow up and they don't. But I appreciate that you did continue to follow up and we're still connecting. We will be connected.
Yes. We're 2 months in. This isn't ending anytime soon.
Not at all. Not at all.
So before we get into all of the meat of the podcast, we start each episode with our wine, and win of the week segment. This is where we share our favorite bottle of wine, vent about something that's been bothering us, and celebrate our recent victories. So grab a glass, take a deep breath, and let's get started. So Robynn, what is your wine drink of the week?
Okay. My wine of the week right now is Stella Rosa Blueberry. I love that. That is like my little staple. I also like Black Girl Rosé. Now that's like if I'm feeling like, okay, it's been a long day and it's a tad bit stronger, but my staple, I know I have like many, but my
Love
staple
it.
mimosas for brunch. Like I love going to like a good brunch with great music, great people, and great mimosas. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Well, the Running Wine Mom loves all the wine suggestions, and with rosé season amongst us, I need to up my wine fridge, which I'm looking at right now. So I will take some of those recommendations from you
Of
for sure.
course, yeah. My husband is from a small town in Western New York, and so when I went out there one year, they have a lot of wineries out there, and so his dad had brought me. I cannot remember. I think it was like a green apple or like some fruity wine. I have asked him. That's what I want for Mother's Day, so he's going to
I
ship
love that.
wine for Mother's Day. I'm like, yes, pops, you're the best.
Well, that is great. I know. It's when you like go away and you find the wine that you love and you're like, I need to go back or some
Yeah,
ship it to me.
yeah. So that's my mother's gift from him.
Love that. And so what is your WHINE of the week?
My wine would have to be the fact that my son, my baby, he's growing 6 teeth at a time all at once. And so he's in a good mood, to be honest.
That's great.
He's sick on top of that. And so he's struggling, and then I'm struggling now. I'm battling a sinus infection and ear infection. So you have to excuse me, but that's definitely a wine. I'm like, please, like teeth just come in and be done. And then please, can I get over all this medication that I'm taking?
Yeah. It's so hard with the teeth when they come in and you're just like, there's nothing you can do besides like just cry along with them.
Right. And just soothe. And it's a
Yeah.
lot of breastfeeding, a lot of nursing, not enough
Yes.
nursing. But now he kind of like nibbles and I'm like,
I you're
no,
like, nobody.
no, please don't.
So what is your win of the week?
My win of the week. Oh, I just had one. My win of the week. Today I posted something on the postpartum support international Instagram, and I posted something for Maternal Mental Health Month. I tagged them in it thinking like, they're probably not going to accept it, and they did. So now, now I'm featured on their Instagram, which is a big deal in the perinatal mental health world. And I was like, so that was really cool. That was definitely a win for me to be
Oh
featured.
my gosh. I love that. Congratulations. I know that is so cool. And I'm so excited to talk about maternal mental health. And while this episode will probably not air in May, we are in May, and May is Maternal Mental Health Month, but I believe all year should be Maternal Mental Health
Yeah,
Month. So,
where be all 365,
yeah.
66 days a year.
So I always like to ask my guests, what is one significant challenge you've successfully navigated shaping your journey to where you are today?
Yeah, so definitely my own journey with perinatal mental health and things and birthing trauma. I've experienced multiple birthing traumas, which is sad to say, but that is what helped me to not only be a therapist, but to receive training in perinatal mental health, start my own therapy business for perinatal mental health, and then make a program for maternal mental health. And that's what my doctoral dissertation project was on. So my own experiences has led me to shape and not make it so other moms have those same challenges as well.
I love that. And even though you went through that, which was not great, but the change that you're making in so many women's lives is, I'm sure, just, unmeasurable, which is amazing. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the running wine mom, we talk a little fitness. What's your favorite way to stay active?
So right now, line dancing.
Ooh.
I started my aunt is a part of a line dance group, and they had like an event to show off like their line dance group. And so she sent us a lot of line dances to do. So I learned a bunch of those, and when I went, we did those, and boy, dancing for like 5 minutes straight, you would think like, "Oh, it's nothing, it's just a couple steps." No, that is a workout.
Yeah.
That is my new thing now, line dancing, and I do it at home, I do it with my girls, they do it, they got their fans, so that's my new thing now, besides going to Disneyland, that's
I know.
always.
I love that you are a Disney family as well, because we love Disney so much. But you're
Yes,
on your West Coast side,
yes,
where your land, we're world. But
right.
still, those steps are like nothing to compare to, because you're just nonstop when you're in the park.
Man, and now that I have multiples, so I always tell my husband when I used to go when we were pregnant, I would say I would wear our watches and I would say, times mine by 3 because I'm carrying a kid. So
Yes.
now mine is tear by 4 because I'm pushing a double stroller.
Yeah. The double stroller is no joke pushing it through the parks.
Let me tell you something. I have a Zoe stroller and that thing is a game changer.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's so easy. I be running with that thing now. Like I'm in there.
Well, yeah, at the Prego Expo with, I got the single stroller, and I cannot believe how light it is and how compact it is. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, like the first time I took my son out in it, we went to a restaurant and I was like, all right, let's just wait, we could just fold this up and it can like fit kind of under the table. Like, this is wild to me. It's
Boom.
yeah,
Mind blown.
I understand. Like, people always had the hype around it, but I was like, whatever. I already have, like, jogging stroller, regular stroller. Why do I need a travel stroller? Yeah, you need it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mandatory. Yeah, it's definitely mandatory, and I get it. I get it. I was like, "Whoo, I'm glad I went to that expo because
Yeah.
you changed like, you guys have changed my life. Thank you,
Yes,
ladies. Yes.
I know. Ooh, yes. So how does maintaining your fitness routine contribute to your mental health?
Yes. Af When I was pregnant with my son, I, was bedridden, and so that was really hard for me. I still am kind of in that struggle. I just had like a doctor's appointment and we talked about my chronic illness that they're looking at diagnosing me with. And with that, fitness is not something I can do on the regularly that I used to. So I'm trying to process that grief and loss of the person I was and the person I am now. And so that's why I do the line dancing, because it's something that it brings me joy. It's something I can do with others, and it helps me feel good. It helps me just not focus on my mental health or my physical. I'm just focusing on having fun. So
Right.
the best thing I try to tell people is don't think of it as, oh my gosh, I'm exercising to lose weight or to whatever. I'm exercising to have fun. And something my doctor told me is just going on a walk. That's exercise. And
For
even though
sure.
yours is limited to what you can do now, that doesn't mean that you can't just do something as simple like a walk around the block or something like that. So I try to take advantage of that to kind of bring me back to who I was.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I love that it's hard for, I feel like if you're into fitness and then all of a sudden it's taken away from you, it's so hard to adjust to that. And it is a mental health struggle that a lot of people just don't really talk about. I remember like, postpartum when you can't move and you're like a couple of weeks ago, I was moving, even though you're 9 months pregnant, not as fast as you were, but like that was a huge struggle for me personally.
Yes, I went from moving around a lot to not moving at all. And I'm still not at that point, but I just try to stay positive and do what I can. And that's all the
Right.
best that you can do.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little parenthood. Tell us about your family.
My family. So there's my husband and we have a 7-year-old daughter named Aurora Rose. I have a 4-year-old daughter named Leah Bell. I have a 2-year-old, look, I have to think. I have a 2-year-old daughter named Ava Everly. And lastly, we have our little boy. He will be 10 months and his name is Ion Bo. So if y'all can't tell I like Disney, just
I know the first one, I was like, because today it was funny. I was like joking around with my daughter in the car. I was asking about school. And so I started saying like names and I started naming like princesses, like, oh, what about Aurora at the pink table? She's like, who's Aurora? I mean,
you're
she
like,
knows who
"Oh,
Aurora, she knows who, she loves Sleeping Beauty, but she
right.
was like in her class. I was going through all of the princess names. And when you were saying that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so, I love that so much.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, and that is their names. Like I said, I have 2 N's at my last name, and my husband's last name is short, and so I said, "I'm gonna give my kids 2 first names because you have a really short last name." He's like,
Yeah.
"I love it. It's different." Oh,
I am obsessed with this. I like you even more after knowing all of your kids' names. Like as we get on this combo, you are
right.
so what were you least prepared for in parenthood?
Oh my gosh. I was least prepared for the amount of unsolicited advice I was going to get. It was astounding how many people were trying to tell me, especially with development, growth, things like that. I'm like, I went to school for this.
Right.
Know, I have degrees in this, and you're trying to tell me about development? Like, stay in your lane. I was definitely not prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for people. Like, if I would go out, where's your kids? Their dad. Like,
Right.
they're
Are you
definitely
asking him?
with me. Like, they're with their father. Like, well, why? Because I need to be Robin and not mom all the time. That's why. And
Hmm.
stop before I tell you about yourself. So this really is something I wasn't also prepared for when I gave birth that I wouldn't be listened to. That was a huge shocker to me that I was not respected and not listened to.
That's really tough. And I'm sure we'll get a little bit more into that in just a little bit. But
Yes, ma'am.
what is your parenting style with a mom of four? My goodness. Like I have two. I can't imagine four.
It's funny. My husband and I were talking, and our oldest daughter was just the same. She's so good. So we're like, let's have more. And we had a second one. We're like, oh, okay, okay. She's a little testy. Okay. I was like, let's keep going. To have our daughter.
Why not?
We could fit one more in our Palisade. I think we could do it. And people always said, well, if you had another girl, would you had another one? No. No, 4 is good enough. There's an even number. We're good. Everyone gets a part. Look, I was thinking about rides. Everyone has a partner for a ride. Good. We're good. But what I try to do is so I have a background in early childhood development. I was a preschool teacher and pre-kindergarten teacher for a few years while I was in getting my bachelor's. And so I learned a lot of my tools there. One thing I learned is to meet every kid where they are. Every child is different. So the way I talk to my oldest may not be the way I talk to my youngest daughter, and so forth and so forth. I give them their undivided attention sometimes. Sometimes I just spend that one on one. But the most important thing I do is I overdo with how much I tell them how much I love them. Every night we tuck them in and we tell them we love them. And I feel like that has made such a humongous
Mhm.
help within my kids. I actually learned that from my best friend. Her mom did that when I spent it at her house years ago when we were in middle school. And it always stuck with me how that made me feel, even to this day as an adult.
Oh,
And I said, if I ever had kids, that's exactly what I want to do. And it has definitely helped within my family.
I love that. And it's so important. It gives them just like this weird, not weird confidence, but an unknown confidence, I guess, that nobody really talks about. When the kids know that someone loves them, they
Mm,
have an advantage that is like just unmatched. They know someone's always in their corner, and it's so important for them to know that and just remind them every day, which is
yes.
great.
And you think like, oh, my kid knows that they love you, but it's nothing like you repeating that. Like we all know
Hmm.
we should go 65 on the freeway, but do we do it? So it's kind of like we have to kind of reiterate that and also giving my kids structure. I've always placed my kids on the schedule ever since they were born. So we're pretty regimented in our structure, unless like we go somewhere to do something. And that's something I also learned being a preschool teacher. Kids love the structure. Like it was like they knew what to expect and they knew what was expected of them as well as what was expected from me and what they expected from me too. So the structure also really helps as well.
Yeah, it's so important. And people think that structure because they get like annoyed with structure, but like really they feel safe with structure is
Mhm.
something that a lot of people maybe don't realize.
Yes,
Yeah.
it gives them a guide to their day,
Yeah.
and lets them kind of be a part of that day, kind of be a part of the changes. So structure is very big.
So what's one piece of advice that you would give to other parents?
Oof, there's so much. I would definitely have to say, trust yourself. I feel like when we become parents, we have all this confidence, and then it's like this human is born, and we're like, I don't know, I suck. I'm a horrible mom. They didn't
Right.
not eating their vegetables. Face or the social media says I got to do this to be a good parent. Scratch the outside noise. No, your child is not their child and vice versa. You have to trust yourself. It's between you, your partner, if you're singles, you and your pediatrician or whoever, but believe in yourself and trust in yourself that you're making right decisions. And if you have questions or you are having that doubt, reach out for help. That's what therapists, that's what we're here for. So I would definitely say the best thing is to cut out all the access noise and trust yourself.
Yeah, that's great advice. All right, so let's get into some maternal mental health. So, can
Yes.
you share the moment that really inspired your focus on this area?
Yes, yes. So I'll do a long story short, but my middle daughter was born during the pandemic, and my mom, who's a labor and delivery nurse, was not allowed to be in the room. She was with my oldest, so I got like the royal treatment because of that. Unfortunately, that did not happen the second time go around. Long story short, I knew I had to push. The nurse literally pushed me down and said, "Go back to sleep." And I said, "No, I have to push." She said, "No, you don't. You just got an epidural." I said, "Ma'am, I got the epidural over 12 hours ago. I feel it. This is my second. I know I have to push." "No, you don't." And she was a break nurse, so I knew she didn't want to do her job.
Right.
And so she said, "Go to sleep." And she walked out. And my husband's frantically trying to find someone. I guess everyone had to give birth at that time. And my husband turned on the light and I said, "Look." I grabbed him. I said, "Look at me. This is gonna be just you and me. So I
Oh
need
my
you to
God.
get ready. I need you to get ready." He's like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Get your button-up shirt for skin to skin. We're gonna push this baby out." And I did it. And I did it by myself.
Actually, I
Um,
have chills.
yeah. I did it by myself, and my original nurse came in, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm having my baby." And she looked at, she's like, "Whoa!" And she was already out, and it was a mission. And I remember at that moment, it took me a while, but when I got into postpartum room, I thought, why did I just pay all this money to do something I wasn't supposed to do?
Hmm.
And the doctor, because after I delivered, I delivered the placenta. She comes in, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, I can do this myself."
Right.
She joked and said, "I should just have you sign the birth certificate since you delivered her." I said, "That's not funny. Deliver this placenta and get out."
Yeah.
I
Not funny.
literally told her that, and I just remember thinking, like, if I can experience this, and my mom literally does this for a living, I wonder how many other moms and birthing people have given birth and had the same horror or even worse and don't have no one to fall back on because their parents aren't in the healthcare field or whoever isn't in the healthcare field. So I called my mom afterwards and she's like, "What happened?" She said, "Gone." So she hung up. She called the charge nurse. She called the medical director. I mean, I made a complaint. Of course, no one followed up with my complaint. It was a lot that happened that day, but that's what made me say, you know what? I'm luckily I am a therapist. I can give my own advice and kind of help myself right now. I did seek other help as well. But I said, how many women don't have that? How many birthing people don't have that? So I said, you know what? That's my going to be my focus. Maternal mental
Yeah.
health.
And like if you're a single mom or like, especially during COVID, like sometimes people didn't even have a significant other in there. And oh my gosh, that is wild to. So I just I'm like, let me process that for a second because I just cannot imagine. Yeah. But so like, this obviously personal experience really, your birth, being a mother, how maybe has it influenced your professional approach to supporting moms? Like once you decided this is what I'm going to do, how did you decide more of the direction that you're going to go into as a mother, yourself?
Yes. Coincidentally, during the pandemic, I was actually in training for perinatal mental health.
Hmm.
So I was kind of already on that path. And then when I had my daughter, it was like, ding, 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 yep, this is
Yeah.
going to continue.
Yeah.
So I started to go to conferences. I went to um, the postpartum support national conference that they have every year. I started doing that, getting certified. I'm putting myself on the directories, going out meeting with other people, networking. A fun fact, I left that hospital after that and I had the youngest two at another hospital, and my OB, she's wonderful. She saved my life twice. Bless her heart. I told her my experience, what I do, and she's like, when you're ready, let me know, and I want to build your program here at the hospital. So it's going to
Wow.
be at the hospital. I have doctors on board. So I put all these things in motion. And once my health is in a better time, I'm gonna hit the ground running with all that support. So
That's so
it's
exciting.
wonderful. I cannot wait to see my hard work blossom and help all these women across the
Amazing.
nation and hopefully the world.
Yeah, that's great. So can you talk a little bit about the significance of culturally competent care in maternal mental health services?
Oh my goodness, yes. I feel like it's been proven that Black women die at a higher rate than white women, and I didn't really want to believe that that was the truth until I had my experience with my daughter, and that is something I addressed in my project dissertation. Is why is it that a woman of color is not her, but a white woman is? Why is it that I have to be bleeding out or women have to die and we're still having these same conversations? Why Why are women not being supported? That's why a lot of Black women are doing home birth and getting a midwife and getting doulas that look like us because we're afraid. Every woman, every birthing person should come home with their child. I feel like a lot of people ignore that. Oh, racism doesn't happen in the healthcare field. We're not like that. We love all of our patients. No, you don't. Cut it out. Let's just address it. Let's make changes and let's make changes now because I'm tired of seeing women dying or, being afraid to go to the hospital and
Right.
wondering if I'm going to come home. My husband's always like, I'm so scared that, I love having kids and I love having a family, but I don't want to have to pick between my wife and my kid.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, none of my other friends have to worry about that. They've never had to have those worries, but I do.
Ugh.
And so I feel like healthcare professionals need to be open and honest and have that open dialogue and have surveys, have patient review those patient surveys. Don't say you're going to do something, actually do something. Invite professionals in the field to educate, to have trainings. But also, if someone's not doing that, hold them accountable.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be working there. Like the lady who pushed me down and told me to go to sleep should not be a nurse anymore. Now, do I know if she probably is, because like I said, I made the complaint, nothing was done. Things need to be done and change needs to be done.
Yeah. So besides educating, like how do you feel like there can start to be a change in that area?
Acceptance. I feel like accepting that there is a problem and doing something about it, not
Hmm.
sweeping it under the rug, not reviewing your surveys or when there is a complaint, kind of being like, oh, okay, we'll address it. Are you
Right.
really? Are you doing your research? Do you have someone there who is in charge of your education piece, your training piece? Are these things being constantly talked about, or is it like once at onboarding?
Right. Yeah. Well, I pray that there is change in the future for that because that is I had a guest, one of my very first guests, Priscilla Frederick. She's amazing. She was in the Olympics and she was talking about she doesn't have kids now and she's scared as a Black woman for that. And I thought, wow, like, you have this beautiful husband and life and like I as a white woman have never figured that I couldn't have kids because I was, going to die having birth. And that really was such an eye opener to me. And I just hope that there is change in the future for that.
I'm hoping too. I'm hoping to start that, and we're hitting the ground running. There are like some bills we're trying to pass, policies we're trying to pass, and so I'm hoping we start to see change. But who knows? But we can cross our fingers
Yes.
and don't give up. And don't give up.
Yes. So let's talk about for the viewer or for the listeners and viewers, understanding maternal mental health. So, what are some common misconceptions about maternal mental health that you frequently encounter?
Yes, the most common misconception is that only moms have or go through postpartum mood anxiety disorders. That's something or perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. That's something I hear a lot. Dads actually get them too. Research shows at least 1 out of 10 dads may experience some type of mood or anxiety disorder within postpartum. That number is
Mhm.
probably higher, but
Right.
there's no research for them. There's no resources for them. There's no support for them. So, and also they're trying to be strong for us. So they might not be addressing their own. So that's a common misconception too, that it's only a mom thing. No, it's a
Yeah.
parent thing. It's a parent
That's
thing.
so I've never heard of that either, but that would make a lot of sense because you're both going through such a drastic change afterwards. And, even though not necessarily everyone thinks it's like directly hormonal related, which I don't know, maybe for men they have hormonal changes too after birth, but that's really interesting to hear. So one of the big things is, when I talk to women and even myself, like when I had my kids, how do you differentiate between like a typical postpartum experience, baby blues, and signs that like you really need professional support?
Yes, yes. So baby blues is something like it's pretty like mellow. Like, it's not something where you're concerned, you kind of just kinda down in the kinda like an Eeyore, like, you're down in the
Right.
dumps a little bit. What makes postpartum depression kinda stick out or it's not going away. No amount of getting out, getting sunlight, medication, walking around it's actually getting worse as time goes on. And also something that's different from baby blues versus postpartum depression are the suicidal and, ideations and thoughts. That's something that's a big red flag to when you're thinking of harming yourself or others, to where you're like, okay, I might need to talk to somebody
Hmm.
about this. Versus baby blues, you're just kind of um, like, oh, you may not have that attachment to your baby yet, or you're just kind of sad, but you're kind of hanging it up there. And also, postpartum depression, it's like a constant thing for like at least 2 weeks, but it's on like a higher scale. Um,
Okay.
and so that's something where you kind of want to look out. Also, this may notice it in you too, that you're not getting any better. They may notice that you're completely disconnected, may have a lot of worries, a lot of anxiety. Like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with my kid or my baby, myself.
Hmm.
You may ruminate over thoughts like, oh my gosh, I need to change a diaper. If I need to only change a diaper, someone else change a diaper, something's going to happen. Those are common signs where you probably need to talk to someone,
Yeah.
especially if you went through a birthing trauma.
Yeah, it's so important. And again, something that I feel like should be a part of the prenatal process. Like you should just be set up with a therapist, like just like you go for your 6 week checkup, you should have, a 3 week therapist checkup or,
Yes.
around your not just that, like when you go in with the baby to the doctor, like, yeah, I just will never understand why that's not a thing.
And that's exactly what I wrote about in my dissertation. Like, you need to, your mind is such a huge part as well. If you can't take care of your mind and your body, they're interconnected. So you need to make sure the mom and the partner and the birthing people, their mind is right before they go home and now they get to take care of this tiny human.
Yeah, yeah. So, what role does partner and family support play in a mother's mental health during the postpartum period?
Oh my gosh, so much. I think people think like when we come home, we want everyone holding the baby and we want like mask and things like that. No, if you got multiples, we want you to watch these other kids.
Yeah.
Get these kids, take them to Chuck E. Cheese, get them out my house, do some laundry, cook. During the pandemic, I have some wonderful friends. My best friend from Tennessee literally was door dashing me food. And she
So
did
nice.
it again this time because she knew I had health concerns. She got me like a foot spa. Like she did so many things because she knew I couldn't leave my home.
Hmm.
But asking moms what they want instead of assuming what a mom wants, ask what they want. Some moms may just want peace and quiet. They may want you to hold the baby and they just take a 5-minute power snooze or something. Some moms maybe just want you to cook the clothes, do the laundry, clean their house. I mean, there's so many ways the family can support. But most importantly, just ask, hey, Sam, I know you just had baby Brooklyn. What do you need from me? Instead of being like, oh, I want to come over and hold the baby.
Yeah.
Well, how are you? When I had my oldest, other best friend at a baby shower, she me $50 in cash. And in there she said, this is for you, not for the baby. You better spend this on yourself because I wish someone did this for me. And I got a pedicure with that, and I'm there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you were so right. I needed to just go get a pedicure to just be by myself. So, like, those little things mean so much. Like, that was 7 years ago, and I remember how much that meant to me.
I love that. Yeah, it's so important. There's so many, it's like everyone, you're right. They come over, they're like, baby, baby, baby. You're like, what about me?
Like,
Hello. I can't move. I have a diaper on too. Like,
"Whoa, I'm leaking everywhere."
yeah.
Yes.
Um, so what coping strategies do you recommend for mothers experiencing postpartum anxiety or depression?
Yes, one thing, that I would definitely recommend is finding some time, and I know everyone says, "Sleep when the baby's sleeping." That's impossible. I felt like I could not do that because I was thinking of all the things I should be doing So something I would definitely recommend is binge watching something that like either a show that you never watched or a show that you watched before. With my oldest, it was Game of Thrones, and I'm so glad I waited until like because I could not have watched that live.
No, I couldn't either. Like, we binge watched it before the finale too, and I'm like,
Yeah,
how did people go, like, I don't even know how many years it was on, like,
spoiler alert! So if they watch Game of Thrones, don't listen to this. I was like, how did people watch this after they beheaded Ned? I
I
was
know.
you had to see what like
I know.
the Red Wedding.
So,
No,
yeah. Or Jon Snow, like, you had to
yes,
wait to
Thompson's
see if he was
chill.
alive.
And especially that was good because, I had my late nights and that's what I was doing. I was up feeding my daughter and watching Game of Thrones and it was
Yeah.
wonderful. Now it's Scandal. Scandal.
Scandal.
I'm
I love Scandal.
like, why didn't I know about Scandal? This is
My sister and I, we used to have Shonda Thursdays, and it would be, How to Get Away with Murder. We'd be like, she'd come over every Thursday. It was like the
man,
best.
she was in her bag because that was another one I was binge
Yeah.
watching. How to Get
Did
Away
you
with Murder.
watch did you watch her new one, The Residence? Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's on Netflix. It's like a small series. I think it's like 8 episodes. It is.
Have you watched The Pit? It's on Max.
Oh, The Pit. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've watched a couple episodes. I cannot That is so good. And I
It
love
is really good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I love
that is
it so
oh,
much.
I would definitely say make time for yourself to get out. Force yourself to get out the house, even if it's taking a walk by yourself, even if it's going to Target, getting a pedicure, manicure, getting your hair done.
Mhm.
Definitely do something by yourself and also binge watch some TV. I mean, just that little bit, I was able to just refill my own cup because I was so busy filling the other 5 people in my house up that I forgot about myself. And so it forced me to take care of myself as well because you can't take care of others if you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah, that's great advice. So how can mothers advocate for themselves with the healthcare system to receive adequate mental health support?
Yes, speak up and say no. Another thing is if people deny you things, make sure to say, okay, you're denying me this medication. Be sure to put that in my chart. Or
Mm,
you can always ask for another doctor. If you don't like the doctor and the way someone's speaking to you can say, okay, I would like to speak to someone else. I have had to do that multiple times and I have no shame. I don't care. I don't like the way you're talking to me. I'm going to ask for someone else. Also, if you are afraid to speak up, have someone speak up for you.
mhm.
But also, sometimes things change. Like I had this idea in my head of how my birthing experience was going to be. Unfortunately, it was at the time of like, let's just get the baby out and safe. So
Mhm.
sometimes you have to accept that. But if
Right.
that's not the case, if they're just being difficult, put that in my chart. I want to see the doctor. Where is my doctor? Or, don't be afraid. I feel like we're afraid to hurt feelings and speak up. You know what?
Yeah.
Have somebody else.
Especially as women.
Mm-hmm. We're
Yep.
forced to stay in the background, be silent. No, this is your body. This is your body. You are birthing a human. Speak up for yourself, girl. Don't let nobody silence you.
No, I love that. That's great advice. And it is, I feel like motherhood definitely gave me like a power to speak up for myself because I was like, I need to speak up for my kids. I need to learn how to do this. So let me just speak up for myself while I'm at it.
Yes, yes,
Um,
absolutely.
are there specific community resources or programs that you suggest for mothers seeking help?
Yes, the first one, the main one I would highly, highly, highly recommend is postpartum.net. That's a parent postpartum support international website. It's global, it's around the world.
Hmm.
There they have support groups, resources, hotlines, chats, therapist directory, myself, those who specialize in perinatal mental health, who are certified and or have taken the training. So they're very knowledgeable. Like I said, there's support groups, there's webinars. I mean, it's everything. Resources like info like little information, things like it's a wonderful start there. It's a
That's
wonderful
great.
one.
And do you have any techniques for managing the guilt and pressure often associated with motherhood?
Yes, yes. The first thing I would say is kind of talk about where's that coming from? Is that like your inner
Hmm.
child speaking that needs to be soothed? So I would definitely start there, but definitely reassuring yourself that all mothers, we all go through it. Motherhood is not easy. No one wrote a book on it. You're going to make trial and error. You're going to make mistakes. Just accept it, move on from it, and know that you'll never make it again. Give yourself grace, know that you're doing the best that you can, but don't beat yourself up. We all have that mom guilt. I get it all the time, especially when I was in the hospital for multiple times for weeks away from my kids. I felt guilty, but I had to tell myself, I'm here because I need to get help. I need to get healthy to be a mom, for they have no mother. And we don't want that. And so give yourself some grace and always remind yourself and be kind to yourself and just know that you're amazing and you are going to move mountains for your kids and they will never appreciate it. They'll never understand to their mother themselves.
Yes, the
It's a
truth.
thankful, thankless job, but you thank yourself. You say, pat yourself, go ahead, girl. You fed that baby. You picked that kid up from school. You did that homework. Look, got it straight A's. You did that.
That is great advice and so true. Like I was just talking about that today. I was like, you really don't know until you have kids, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is why my mom freaked out when I didn't get the chicken out of the freezer. I get it
Yes.
now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
If you could dispel one myth about motherhood, what would it be?
If I could just put one, what would it be? It would have to be that it's that no mother ever cries and that it's just so easy and it's all rainbows and sunshine and oh, I'm so happy right now and my kid never makes me mad and I'm not drinking wine. Like I was on TikTok and some mom was like, can we normalize not drinking wine and not drinking? Girl, bye. My kids are asleep. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? That's fine. I'm a substance abuse counselor, so like I get it. Some people that they cannot drink. Those of us that can, this little
Just
glass of
live.
wine is not gonna hurt nobody. And like I said, my kids are asleep. What do you want me to do? I'm gonna drink my wine, I'm gonna watch Scandal, and I'm gonna laugh with Olivia Pope and sip our
Yes.
wine.
Got to.
I really want to stop this whole being ashamed or embarrassed to cry or feeling like we can't ex- um, experience or show anything but happiness, that we're just always happy. That's not the case. Being a parent, being a mother is hard. We go through a lot. Everything depends on us. Nobody can function without us. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you don't know what to cook? No, I don't want to think. So I want that to stop, like being ashamed of experiencing anything but happiness.
Yeah. So, what is your go-to self-care activity that you recommend to mothers?
Like go to, oh, there's so many. I always say get my toes done. But they're so expensive now. I kind of do that myself.
I'm like, I need to get mine done, but like, I just don't have the time and the money right now.
Right. So I've learned to do it myself. I would have to say, make sure you have a friend to force you to get out. I have like my best friend I was talking about, they forced me to get out and go to brunch.
Hmm.
Uh, they're aware of the chronic illness I have, and one thing I told them is I don't want to go anywhere. I'm embarrassed. And she said, "Well, don't be embarrassed. You still need to be you. Nobody's gonna know. And if someone sees something, I got you." So definitely doing that and reminding you can't be mom 24/7. So you need to take some time to be who you were before you became a mom, before you became a wife, before you became a partner. Be you. Be that person you were before you have the mom hat on.
Yeah, that's great. So you have told us so much, given us so much great advice. I truly appreciate it. And I know all my listeners and viewers are really taking all of this in. But what is one message that you wish every mother could hear and truly believe?
One message I wish every mother could truly hear and believe is know that you're going to disappoint your kids. And I'm not saying that in a sense of like you're going to do something wrong, they're going to feel like you do something wrong. Like if you take away, I don't know, like their tablet because they didn't do their homework, it's going to be like the end of the world for them. But it's okay. You have to show your kids consequences because something
Mhm.
that was taught to me is I would rather show you consequences, someone else show you consequences, or you not understand that actions have a consequence. And so just know that they're going to be upset, they're going to cry, but they will always love you and they will appreciate you as long as you show up, you show out, and you show them love. You do a lot of showing, and just know that it's going to be okay. You're going to have your bad days, you're going to have your good days, you're going to have your okay days, but either way, you're going to be okay. Either way, mom, you are going to be okay.
I love that. That is a great place to end it. So that is going to bring us to the end of another episode of The Running Wine Mom. Dr. Mays, thank you. That was beautiful, insightful, and so needed. To every mom listening, you are not alone. Your mental health matters just as much as your baby's, and asking for help isn't weakness, it is strength. As always, thank you for spending this time with me on The Running Wine Mom. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review if you loved it, and share this episode with a mom who needs to hear it. You can follow me on Instagram at the running wine mom _ and Robyn, where can the listeners find you?
Yes, you can find me at Dr. Robynn. It's DOCTOR.ROBYNN. And also you can follow me at Life with dot ROBYNN. So those are two platforms you can find me at.
Awesome. And I will link all those. Thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, you are strong, you are capable, and you are all amazing. Until next time, keep running, keep sipping, and keep embracing the joy of motherhood. Cheers. And I will be back next Tuesday.